I'm talking to you, and it would be rude not to look at you if we're having a conversation. She was just like, why are you staring at me? And I'm like, and she's very jittery, she's very unhinged. I said to her, you go do what you need to do, and you have nothing to do with me, and I have nothing to do with you, and bye. She's telling off the students, and she had this weird conversation. She's like, I try to
tell you guys what to do and control you, but not control you because I wouldn't want to be controlled. And then she tells them that
she's a profession and she's a professional and they're not a professional. It's like, yeah, because they're students and you're supposed to be teaching them. When I went through screenings for cancer, thank God I'm okay. I had 2 faculty members make fun of me. So it is my day off. I scheduled this day off way ahead of time. I've had a faculty member make fun of my back condition. I have scoliosis, saying, oh, your organs are probably in bad shape. You know, these are not normal things. It's not normal. I had a teacher back in the day, even though she knew who I was and I worked the entire day, she told a local police officer that was helping out with dismissal that she didn't know who I was. He came over to me. He had to ask me who I was. I showed him my ID. He's like, why would she lie and tell me that you didn't belong here at the dismissal area? It's just been a lot lately with the subbing, and I think there's this misconception is the word, that subbing, all you do is sit on your bottom and do nothing, and that has been the furthest from what has been going on. Employer from subbing trying to get in touch with me this morning. I'll talk about that a little bit today. So I'm just heading up the street, gonna go get something to eat and talk a little bit about what's been happening. Yeah. Is the camera dirty? Maybe. Would you like to say hello to the people? You are the official water carrier and coffee carrier.
Water and coffee.
You have egg on you. So I didn't go into work today. I scheduled today and tomorrow off. Before, when I was with Miami Dade schools, you had to like tell your sub-caller or whatever you were taking off. Now, because it's with Kelly, we just take off. We block off on our site. We have like a website that we're not available. I've communicated with the person at my school that I primarily work at that, you know, you have to contact me the night before, because I can't wake up in the morning and wait to see if you're calling me in or not. This morning I get a text at 5:30 in the morning saying, can you come in? Can you do this class for me? It's like, number one, the site clearly shows that I'm not available. Number two, I've told them I can't do it. That the last time I woke up early, it destroyed my day. With the other subs, many of which have been at this school location for a year, and I've been there probably 4 years, the sub caller always calls them and schedules them way ahead of time. So in other words, there's a sub that knows that a class that the teacher's going to be out Monday through Friday. They've already been given that class, and that was a class that originally the teacher wanted me, but she doesn't want to argue with the sub caller about it. I'm filming this on Wednesday. Monday I went to work. My route that I was doing was assisting a student who was very sweet, but the student is severely disabled. They are sight impaired completely, and I did my very best. There's also a language barrier, which is really not fair to the student, because I just feel so bad that the student is almost walking in like total silence because they can't communicate with me very well. I'm not the ideal person to be assisting them, and I'm not trained in a way to properly care for them, although I did my very best. I'm a bit of an empath, so quite honestly, it kind of affected me. So I did that 2 days in a row. First day I showed up to assist them. I've worked with them before, so I'm a little familiar with them. I walked the student to their class, and the teacher, who is their teacher, is a little bit unhinged. This teacher has a reputation in the school. This teacher is a professional outside of school, where they went to grad school for this profession, and essentially daily basis will tell the students that they are this profession and they are not this profession, and they know what they're talking about, and they studied this, and it's like, you know, there's a lot of grad schools for those things today, so you obviously thought teaching made a lot more money than becoming really that profession. But obviously inappropriate to consistently tell the students often that way. And I brought the student that I was assisting to this teacher's class, and they were doing testing at the school. So the teacher ended up proctoring in the hall, not proctoring, like watching the hall. And so her class schedule was a bit messed up. So I'm arriving with my student, who a lot of the times is in an office with another aide. And so I brought my student to the room, and the teacher is kind of very aggressive instantly, and this teacher is telling me that I need to take her class, her leftover students that were done testing, because then you had ESE students that were continuing the test, and I need to take them to the media center. And I said, I'm not assigned to you. This isn't like the olden days where they could just scream at you and tell you to go into a class. And as I got to her room, I had 2-3 other teachers scream at me in the hall, hey, get in my room, I need you to watch my class. I'm like, I'm taken today. I'm with someone. I'm going to the bathroom, and then I got to get back to my student because someone's watching them for me. It's like, so I get to this teacher's class, and I say, I have to walk down my student early to lunch so that they miss the crowd of students. That's in 15 minutes. I'm not taking your students to the media center. And this teacher goes, I'm just following orders of what I know I need to do. It's like, I said, but that's not me. That's not me. I got my own route today. I know what my job is today. I work for this temp agency, Kelly, where I'm told what my job is for today. I'm not doing what you asked me to do. So she orders me to take her class. I don't even know. I just ended up walking my student down to lunch, and I don't even know where her class went, honestly. They probably went to lunch early too, honestly. And so when I was before her, I say to her, I'm with my student, I can't take your class. Then she starts this weird gaslighting, which is the leftovers of her poor education in her field that she never became. And so at one point she's just looking at me, and she's like, why are you staring at me? I'm like, because I'm talking to you, and it would be rude not to look at you if we're having a conversation. I didn't say that, but she was just like, why are you staring at me? And I'm like, oh. And then at a certain point, she's just like going on and on and on and on, gaslighting. Nothing that comes out of her mouth is very convincing. It's just like a lot of mumbo jumbo. And she's very jittery. She's very unhinged. So I said to her, you go do what you need to do. And you have nothing to do with me, and I have nothing to do with you, and bye. And then I ended up in her class after lunch with my student, and she's telling off the students, and she had this weird conversation. She's like, I try to tell you guys what to do and control you, but not control you because I wouldn't want to be controlled. And then she tells them that she's a profession and she's a professional and they're not a professional. It's like, yeah, because they're students and you're supposed to be teaching them. Then there was a student that apparently was chewing gum. She said she saw him chewing gum in the hall. So he tells her he was not chewing gum. So then she tells him he's going to get lunch detention. So then he said, why do I get lunch detention? She goes, that's 2 lunch detentions right there. So then his friend tries to stick up for him, and he goes, why is my friend getting lunch detention? She goes, that's a lunch detention for you too. And so she's a fine educator. She learned a lot of skills in grad school about argumentative abilities that she clearly could not make a living at. So she became a teacher because she really believes in the gift of education, because she's a fine educator. It was her dream. And then there was just a lot of daily abuse, unfortunately, associated to the role. Like, I worked with this student for 2 days, and the issue was not him or was not the student or the route. It was more these supervising teachers that know the student's schedule and how to work with him. And I'm asking them very brief things like, is the student's lunch the same? Because there's odd and even schedules. Is anything I need to know about the student? And they're chastising me like, you don't need to know anything. They know everything. You don't need to know anything. You don't need to ask these questions. You know, they put me in this role of a paraprofessional, and I wasn't really a match for it. You know, I'm an empathic person, so I did my best, but to put someone who's not trained in it, and then there's a language barrier, was quite a not ideal situation. And I'm sure there was another sub that was working that day that at the very least spoke the student's language, but instead they were given a regular class because they probably did not, on an empathic level, want to work with the student, which is sad. I had no issue working with the student. It's just that I am honest that I am not ideal to work with the student because at a basic level, I don't speak the language, so we're walking in silence most of the day, and I feel very bad for them. I think that I am treated exceptionally badly with the subbing. I mean, when I went through screenings for cancer, thank God I'm okay. I had 2 faculty members make fun of me. I had a teacher back in the day, even though she knew who I was and I worked the entire day, she told a local police officer that was helping out with dismissal that she didn't know who I was. He came over to me. He had to ask me who I was. I showed him my ID. He's like, why would she lie and tell me that you didn't belong here at the dismissal area? And I'm like, I don't know. He's like, oh, I don't want to get involved with that. He picked up on that this was like some weird issue that this person had. It's like, well, she's giving you a false statement. You should probably go ask her about that. But he didn't want to get involved. And, you know, I've had a teacher a faculty member make fun of my back condition. I have scoliosis, saying, oh, your organs are probably in bad shape. You know, these are not normal things. It's not normal. I've heard anti-Semitic statements at the school. It's certainly a very toxic environment. When we were first transitioned from Miami-Dade schools, the abuse when we were with Miami-Dade was still very bad, because all these things were happening then. But I think that the abuse has certainly gotten worse since the Kelly transition. At the very least, you know, it's become very, very infrequent. You know, it went from, you know, it could be on average 19 days a month to it could be 4, it could be 5. And other subs are probably called more than me. I do believe, and I'm not saying this from a place of entitlement or cockiness, I do believe that there is an appearance-based reasoning behind how I am treated at this school. There was a teacher that was decent looking, and she taught lower aged students at the school, and she was also treated exceptionally bad, I would say. She told me some of the stories, and she's off doing something else right now. I don't know if she'll return to teaching or not. Honestly, she should. I hope she's taking reflective time to realize that, you know, it's certainly not normal, some of the things that are happening. I know that since I've been off today, I'm starting to feel better. You know, what I realized, you know, yesterday I went shopping a tiny bit for my birthday, and I went in, you know, Lululemon, and I went shopping a little, and I'm realizing that my sense of self, my ego, has been hurt very badly by this treatment over the years. You know, you don't have to be told you're ugly or you're this or that. It's like you can just be mistreated on a very regular basis, and that starts to, like the saying, like peel the onion. It's been a exhausting couple days, and I only worked 2 days this week because it's cumulative, you know. And yeah, that's my video here. Gonna go get some soup because I like soup. But yeah, I'm glad that I'm documenting like my journey and the different things. As I watch back, I'll be able to see how I got from point A to point B. Thank you so much for watching. I have Patreon, channel memberships, all that. And I will see you soon in my next video, and bye.